to 10 minutes briefly to give you an introduction about our collaboration agreement with JLL, and I'll also just highlight a couple of London developments that we shall be bringing to Thailand in the next few weeks. Just a quick introduction to Richmont first. We were established in 2014, although we've been active in the Thailand property market using a different name since 2002. Initially, we were involved mainly with selling Thai projects overseas, but more recently we've become involved much more with the luxury segment in Thailand, and of course from now we'll be involved as well with international projects. So our market is mainly 30 million baht and above, which we classify as the luxury segment in Thailand. And as you can see that we do have sales in a lower segment or the mid segment, but primarily our sales are in the luxury segment. Our services are purely residential. We only do residential property. We are involved in several projects selling in Bangkok, where we have site sales teams. We shall now be involved, as we know, with more international project sales with JLL. These sales will be primarily, as we will see, from the UK, but also other countries too. And in line with other residential services, we have individual portfolio management, we have rentals and resales, and we have interior design and decoration. So a bit more about what our collaboration with JLL actually means. So I mentioned that we will primarily be working with JLL to sell UK projects to Thai buyers, both investors and end users. But we should also be bringing projects from JLL offices in Japan and other countries too, like UAE. As you'll see more later on from James, JLL are actually the exclusive agents for Barratt Homes, which is the UK's largest investor. So we will be introducing projects from Barratt Homes, as well as other developers. But Barratt Homes, as we will see, has a very interesting portfolio of developments for Thai investors. I would say much more affordable than we're used to seeing from London, and much more in line perhaps with what more private investors will be interested in, we think, in the Thai market. And that's what I've mentioned there in the last point. Prices will be starting from actually around 15 million baht, which is quite low for London, but nevertheless, I think very interesting for a lot of Thai investors. The collaboration that we have with JLL will also very much help us promoting Thai projects to overseas markets, and this is very important for our collaboration. So through JLL's international offices, especially in the Asian region, we shall be bringing Thai projects for sale. As we know, a lot of Thai projects, especially in the luxury segment, have very high foreign demand. So we are looking forward to assisting Thai developers with those sales to foreign investors. So I mentioned that I would talk briefly about two projects that we will be bringing to Thailand in the coming weeks. They're different market segments, but I want to highlight them because it just goes to show the range of properties that we will be offering to Thai buyers. As I said, from the luxury end down to, let's say, more affordable end for investors. So the first project actually is really in a golden postcode of London, very much prime London. If any of you are familiar with central London, you probably recognize this area. It's in the Chelsea Belgravia area. The postcode is SW1, and in London, that's all you need to say to know what the area is. It's a collection of actually of 5 different buildings, and we're introducing one of those buildings, which is actually ready for occupation at the end of this year. The building is just over 100 units in different configurations. The starting price is around about 40 million baht, which is around about £900,000. For this particular area, that's actually a very interesting price. There are plenty of developments in the area which cost quite a bit more. This project is a joint venture with the local council, Westminster Council, and so the prices are actually much more attractive than usual. It's only 9 minutes to Sloane Square Station, so it really is prime London. And of course, from this area you can get to all the main universities, UCL, Imperial College, London School of Economics, they're all within very easy reach. So we anticipate that this could most probably be very attractive to Thai people, perhaps wanting a base in London for their children's education, and also for their own use on holidays and lifestyles, for the use of their friends and families, mainly because the location is really so very central. The other project that we'll be introducing is rather different. This, I would say, is a more affordable project. The prices here at Eastman Village in North London start at 15 million baht, or just around £350,000. This project is very interesting. It's on the old Kodak factory site. Kodak, as you know, is a camera filmmaker, but the site has now been taken over by Barratt Homes, and they've redeveloped it into 2,000 apartments. They'll be ready to move in from early next year. This project will appeal particularly to investors. We have projected rental yields here of around 6.5%, which is very high but very realistic. The demand for apartments in London is very high, so these yields are very much achievable. From an investor's point of view as well, we can offer mortgages to Thai buyers, so they can expect mortgage loans of up to about 60% and steady capital growth as well. This is a bit more about the project. We'll see from James's presentation that Barratt Homes actually do very large regeneration projects, so it's much more than just the apartments. It's about the local area too, the local infrastructure, facilities such as supermarkets, parks are all included in many Barratt Homes developments, and that's why they're very popular. And this shows the travel times from Eastman Village. This is my last slide, but I think it's interesting because the topography, if you like, of London has changed a lot in the last 2 years, because we've recently had a new transportation line called the Elizabeth Line, which you can just see behind me in purple. And the Elizabeth Line has really brought all the zones in London very much closer together. So Eastman Village is in the traditional Zone 5, which if any of you know London, you'll probably be familiar with the zoning. But nevertheless, it's only 12 minutes away from central London. So from the point of view of a Thai investor who has children going to university in the centre, it's still very well located. It's also very well located in North London to get to Cambridge or get to Oxford or get to many of the schools where Thai parents have their children just outside of London. So the point I think I'd like to make is that even if you're not actually in central London, with the new transportation routes, it's actually not very difficult to get around and about. I'll now hand over to James, who will tell you more about the UK property market and Barratt Homes. Thank you very much.
I'm going to give you a high-level overview of Barratt Homes, or Barratt London. Barratt London are a division within Barratt Homes, and we are their lead agent that look after all of their projects across the region. All right, so just to go into London, so that's me. So London, London and the UK as a market. So London is a globally attractive place to invest, and these are just some of the key reasons. This presentation has come from JLL's research. And first and foremost, there is a massive undersupply of housing in the UK. That has been a problem for a number of years now. We as in the UK do not meet and have not met targets for delivering housing. We've recently had an election in the UK, as I'm sure you all know. We now have a new government with a lot of stability, the Labour government, who have recently pledged in their manifesto to build a lot more homes in the UK. In fact, 1.5 million homes over the next parliament. And that is a much needed requirement in the UK given the growing population. So lifestyle factors, I mean, London, UK is considered as a safe haven status. It's a very safe place to invest your money, particularly in the property market. Europe's largest English language speaking city, very transparent legal system, world leader in education, track record in terms of price growth, and we'll come on to that, what's happening in the market, and a globally strong financial sector. And this is from JLL's recent research report here, March 2024, and this just shows you where London is as a global financial centre, comparatively with some of the other main global cities around the world. London has more highly rated universities than any other city in the world. This is a big driver, and I know particularly for parents and families sending their children to study. London is very big for that in a global context. Yeah, this just is some of JLL's data from there, just showing you from 2014 to 2023. Overview of the economic outlook and where things are at the moment. So as I said, we've recently had a new government in the UK. We've had quite a long period now in the UK of relative sort of instability and lots of things going on with COVID and other factors. We think now is a good time to be investing into the UK. We've hopefully got interest rates starting to come down around the world. We've got a low level of supply of housing. The economy is starting to grow now. We're starting to see that with interest rates coming down and inflation. And as a result of that, we expect to see prices rise. We'll come on to what JLL's views are in terms of price growth, but we now expect to see prices starting to grow as we see interest rates and things come down around the world. So in our opinion, now is a good time to be investing into the UK. Yeah, this here again from JLL's research, 2025 looks like it will be a better year than what we've seen in recent years. So again, going back to what I was saying about what's happening in the UK, we're expecting to see that growth going into 2025 and beyond. And inflation is now under control, and as a result, actually we have an announcement this week The Bank of England, we don't know what that's going to entail, but again, we're now starting to see inflation under control, and as a result, interest rates coming down, which will help everything with respect to growth and pricing. UK population. This is just to show the UK population growth. Again, as I was saying earlier, big undersupply of housing, growing population, rental market very, very strong as a result. The sales market has been slow with high inflation on the variables, but again, we're starting to see that pick up. But we need to build a lot more houses in the UK to meet the government's targets. Yeah, and again, this data here is to show the sales market and the rental market. Okay, we've had a very, very strong rental market in London and across the UK. Particularly since coming out of COVID, we're now starting to see a bit of a normalised market, but still very strong rental market in terms of growth, but it's been stabilising a bit. And rents rising. Yeah, so again, you can see here, this is a sort of annual change that we've seen, and the 3-year change. Okay. And stock levels. So government's got a big job to do to meet its targets, but we've had very, very low new construction coming through. Lots of global locations and global cities have experienced the same. But really the last year or two, we expect that to remain very low. It's coming out of the back of COVID. A lot lower new construction starts in London and the UK than we've seen in previous years. And there's going to be a lag in that, you know, as interest rates come down, and with the planning system and everything else, all the changes that the government are trying to implement, we expect there to be a lag in terms of new construction starts. So we need developers building more to catch up with that demand that's there. So I always think that this is quite an interesting chart. This just shows you the cost of buying and holding trading homes. And you can see here, London is third against Abu Dhabi, Beijing, Hong Kong, etc., and Singapore at the bottom. That's the buying and the holding costs of residential property in the UK, and London there still looking very competitive globally. Yeah, and you know the rental market is incredibly strong. So anyone that's looking to buy a property for investment purposes will always find a tenant in London and the UK. You know there is so much demand that outstrips the supply. So the rental market is very, very buoyant. This is just some tenant profiling that we've done in a particular location. And this is just to show the importance of neighbourhoods. I mean, I'm going to talk a little bit in a minute about Barratt, as Tim alluded to, Barratt Developments and their projects and what they do. But this is just from some of our JLL research, and just to show you the importance of neighbourhoods. And connectivity and transport. Connectivity is a big thing across London. In the last couple of years, we've had a big new infrastructure project called the Elizabeth Line going into London, and that has now fully connected east to west London. So transport across London, other than the London Underground line, which is shown here, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, connectivity across London is very, very strong now from east to west. And zoning zones 1 through to 6, less relevant now as a result of that. And this is just to conclude on the research side. So this is JLL's latest residential house price projections over the next 5 years. And as you can see, in 2024, we're not projecting a lot of growth, but more importantly, over the next 5 years, this is where we are in London and Greater London and across the UK. But really, we expect to start seeing a higher level of growth or more normalcy moving through next year and beyond. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about Barratt and our relationship with Barratt. So Jones Lang LaSalle's international residential business out of London have been appointed a few years ago now by Barratt Homes, as their lead agency And what that means is we've been appointed to help them access all across Asia Pacific markets and help them sell their projects across London. And not just the sales side of things, but we deal with the lettings and management, financing, all those sorts of things. So it just makes it a lot easier for consumers on the ground out here in Singapore and Thailand, etc., to be able to buy a property in the UK and have a high service level on the ground here. And we are extending that to Richmont as part of our collaboration here to help Thai buyers getting into the market, helping them get the right advice, buy whether they're buying for their children to study or whether they're looking for an investment property, to help turnkey solution all the way through the process. So who are Barratt Developments? So Barratt are the UK's largest home builder. They've been building for over 60 years now. They're a FTSE 100 company, and they've built over 82,000 homes over the last 5 years alone. And this is just to show you some of the accolades, some of the awards that they've won in recent years. Barratt London, which is a division within Barratt Developments, is really where we focus. Although they do have projects all across the UK, we tend to primarily look after their portfolio across London. Right, this is just to show you some of those high-level statistics in terms of how many homes that they build, and how many staff they employ. But we'll talk very high level on a few of their projects. Why buy Barratt? I think, look, I mean, when you're investing overseas, it's very important. The brand, having a very good quality, reputable, trusted brand is important, particularly when you're buying something off plan. They tend to, as Tim alluded to earlier, they tend to build very large-scale master plan developments that are multi-phased over a number of years. Anywhere really between sort of 2 and 10 years their projects last. They have a very strong sales progression and customer services team that we support JLL in the UK. Interior designers, very, very good quality. When you're buying a Barratt home that you've got that trust and reliability, and I think that's very, very important for buyers looking to invest from a long way away. And this is just to show you the history of Barratt London. So where they started. I mean, they've been going for many years now. They've developed many interesting projects, well-known projects across the capital. And this is just a tube map to show where some of those projects are. At the moment, they have about 10 live development projects across London that we will be promoting and marketing and offering to the Thai marketplace. And then they have new large-scale projects that we'll be bringing to the market in 2025. As Tim mentioned, at the moment we are promoting the next phase of Eastman Village, and we will be offering all of their portfolio to the market here on an ongoing basis. So they are experts in regeneration, and I think that when you're investing into an overseas property or in London specifically, the regeneration effect of buying into a project early and benefiting from that upside in terms of price growth is very, very important. So they are experts when it comes to delivering large-scale development in London and across the UK. And this is just to show the buying process, the different steps of the buying process. So inquiry through to offer acceptance, viewings, all those sorts of things. And the team on the ground here at Richmont will be able to help buyers make those decisions, whether it's and provide financing advice to our partners, all those side of things when they're making an investment to buy overseas. If they want to go over to London, that can be arranged. The whole process we can talk them through and give them comfort in terms of what they're buying. And that concludes my presentation, but hopefully you all found that useful, and thank you very much for listening.
มาตั้งแต่ปี 2014 แล้วก็จริงๆแล้วทำอยู่ในวงการอสังหาไทยก่อนนะคะแต่จริงๆที่เราเอ็กซ์เพิร์ทนะคะที่เราเน้นไปจริงๆก็คือตลาดลักชัวรี่ที่มีราคาซื้อขายมากกว่า30 ล้านบาทขึ้นไปแต่ตลาดที่น้อยกว่า30 ล้านบาท เราก็ยังมีอยู่นะคะซึ่งตอนนี้ค่ะเป็นเวลาที่ทาง Richmont นะคะมุ่งเน้นไปที่นอกจาก Luxury Project ในประเทศไทยอะค่ะเรามุ่งเน้นไปที่ตลาด International มากขึ้นนั่นก็เลยเป็นที่มาของการร่วมมือกันกับ JLL ในครั้งนี้ซึ่งนอกจากที่เราจะมุ่งเน้นไปที่การนำนักลงทุนของเราซื้อขายอสังหาริมทรัพย์ของ International แต่เรายังมีการขายโปรเจกต์ต่างๆของไทยค่ะให้กับนักลงทุนต่างชาติเข้ามาด้วยเช่นเดียวกันค่ะแต่ที่เราเน้นนะคะเราจะเน้นไปที่ Residential นะคะแล้วก็โปรเจกต์ต่างๆที่นักลงทุนที่ทางคุณทีมได้นำมาให้ดูนะคะก็คือเลือกมาแล้วแหละว่าเป็นโปรเจกต์ที่เหมาะสำหรับการลงทุนของนักลงทุนในไทยค่ะซึ่งจะมีทั้งหมด2โครงการที่ทางคุณทีมนำมาเล่าให้ฟังในวันนี้นะโครงการแรกเนี่ยอยู่ที่ SW1 ก็บอกว่าโลเคชันเนี่ยเป็นกลางลอนดอนเลยเป็นเซ็นทรัลเลยนะคะราคาขายตรงนี้จะอยู่ที่ประมาณ 900,000 ปอนด์หรือว่าอยู่ประมาณ40 ล้านบาทสำหรับนักลงทุนที่มองหาในสเกลที่ Luxuryโลเคชันดีมากๆพรายมากๆแค่9 นาทีไปที่ลอนดอนสแควร์นะคะแล้วก็เหมาะกับสำหรับนักลงทุนที่มีแพลนที่อยากจะให้ลูกๆหลานๆได้ไปศึกษาต่อที่ประเทศอังกฤษที่ลอนดอนในอนาคตเพราะว่าเราสามารถปล่อยเช่าได้ในระหว่างที่ลูกหลานอาจจะยังไม่ไปแต่ถ้าลูกหลานเราไปลูกหลานเราก็มีที่อยู่อีกโซนหนึ่งนะคะอีกโครงการหนึ่งจะอยู่ที่นอร์ทลอนดอนค่ะตัวนี้จะเป็นราคาที่ affordable ขึ้นมาอยู่ที่ประมาณ 350,000 ปอนด์หรือว่าอยู่ประมาณ15 ล้านบาทเท่านั้นเองค่ะสำหรับนักลงทุนเนี่ยมันน่าสนใจยังไงมันน่าสนใจที่ yield ค่ะ 6.5% ถือว่าสูงพอสมควรสำหรับอสังหานะคะแล้วก็เป็นยิวที่คุณทีมบอกว่าเป็นผลตอบแทนที่เป็นไปได้ไม่ได้โอเวอร์อันนี้คือ average มากๆนะคะแล้วก็ตรงเนี้ยไปที่เคมบริดจ์หรือว่าที่ออกซฟอร์ดก็คือยังง่ายอยู่ด้วยระบบการขนส่งของลอนดอนที่ครอบคลุมทั่วจะบอกว่าทั่วเมืองก็ว่าได้นะคะส่วนของคุณเจมส์เนี่ยจะมาอัปเดตเป็นภาพรวมของตลาดอสังหาที่อังกฤษเนี่ยเขาบอกว่าตอนนี้ซัพพลายของที่อยู่อาศัยที่เป็น residential เนี่ยตอนนี้ขาดก็คือดีมานด์เยอะกว่าซัพพลายดีมานด์มากกว่ามากๆนะคะแล้วก็ในขณะเดียวกันบ้านที่มีความต้องการสูงบ้านอาจจะน้อยกว่าดีมานด์แต่จำนวนประชากรเพิ่มขึ้นเรื่อยๆนั่นหมายถึงว่าดีมานด์จะเพิ่มขึ้นเรื่อยๆในอนาคตค่ะแล้วก็เป็นประเทศที่ระบบกฎหมายบอกว่าโปร่งใสมากๆปลอดภัยมากๆสำหรับการลงทุนนะคะแล้วก็นอกจากนี้เนี่ยประเทศอังกฤษเองเป็นผู้นำด้านการเงินของโลกนอกจากการเป็นผู้นำด้านการเงินของโลกแล้วค่ะระบบมหาลัยเขาบอกว่าในเมืองลอนดอนเมืองเดียวค่ะมีมหาลัยที่เป็น highly rated แบบระดับ international ระดับ world highly rated ค่ะเยอะที่สุดอยู่ในเมืองเดียวเพราะฉะนั้นเรื่องระบบการศึกษาค่ะไม่ต้องแปลกใจมั่นใจได้แน่ว่าระบบการศึกษาเนี่ยดีที่สุดนะคะเรื่องของการเติบโตของเศรษฐกิจเนี่ยหลังจากที่เราเห็นภาพว่าทั้งโลกอะค่ะตั้งแต่ช่วงโควิดที่มันสโลว์ดาวน์ลงไปพอหลังจากโควิดอะค่ะการเติบโตของเศรษฐกิจตอนนี้มันเห็นภาพแล้วว่ามันกำลังขึ้นพอการเติบโตของเศรษฐกิจเริ่มโตขึ้นใช่ไหมคะราคาบ้านที่คาดการณ์กันไว้เนี่ยก็น่าจะขึ้นมีโชว์เป็นสถิติมาแล้วว่านอกจากราคาบ้านที่ขึ้นแล้วตัวราคาค่าเช่าขึ้นหลายเท่าเหมือนกันเพราะนั่นคือความต้องการของคนที่มันเพิ่มขึ้นนะคะแล้วก็ตัวเงินเฟ้อที่รัฐบาลเริ่มควบคุมได้ทำให้อัตราดอกเบี้ยถูกลงเพราะฉะนั้นตอนนี้ก็เลยเป็นเหตุผลว่าทำไมการลงทุนที่ประเทศอังกฤษถึงน่าสนใจมากๆโดยเฉพาะในลอนดอนนะคะซึ่งforecast ในอีก5 ปีข้างหน้าราคาขายก็จะเพิ่มขึ้นหมายถึงว่ามูลค่าของตัวบ้านของตัวที่อยู่ที่เราลงทุนไปก็จะเพิ่มขึ้นและประเทศนี้นะคะจะบอกว่า tax ภาษีในการซื้อขายอสังหาริมทรัพย์ค่ะยังต้องบอกว่าเรียกว่าอยู่ระดับกลางๆยังไม่ได้โหดมากเหมือนสิงคโปร์ยังเกาะในกลุ่มเมืองใหญ่เช่นปารีสนิวยอร์กอย่างปารีสเนี่ยจะอยู่ที่ประมาณ 14% นิวยอร์ก 17% แต่ที่ลอนดอนอยู่ประมาณ 12%เพราะฉะนั้นในเรื่องของ tax มันยังถือว่าอยู่ในอัตราที่แข่งขันได้นั่นก็เลยเป็นเหตุผลว่าทำไมถึง น่าสนใจมากๆกับการลงทุนอสังหาริมทรัพย์ที่อังกฤษนะคะส่วน Barratt Home เนี่ยจะบอกว่าเป็น developer ที่ใหญ่ที่สุดของอังกฤษเพราะฉะนั้นเรื่องของการดีไซน์เรื่องของบริการหลังการขายเซอร์วิสคุณภาพต่างๆรวมถึงภาพแบรนดิ้งเนี่ยของเขาเนี่ยเชื่อถือได้มากๆอยู่แล้วเพราะว่าเขาดำเนินกิจการมา60กว่าปีบ้านเป็นหมื่นๆหลังที่เขาสร้างไปเพราะฉะนั้นมันเป็นแบรนด์ที่เชื่อถือได้มากๆหากว่านักลงทุนไทยจะไปลงทุนกับ Barratt Home นะคะและตอนนี้นะคะก็ขออนุญาตนำทุกท่านค่ะเข้าสู่ช่วงของ partnership
to get specific advice on that. There are ways that depend on your personal situation, and you have to invest a certain amount of money.
Can you say how much?
I wouldn't want to misquote.
Okay. All right, thank you. From JLL, please.
Sorry.
There aren't specific visa programs for the UK, but as James mentioned, I think there may be some special circumstances. But again, I think you would need to get special advice on that.
Yeah, there used to be, but I think you need to get special advice.
Thank you. ก็เมื่อกี้นี้นะคะที่มีคำถามว่าถ้าลงทุนแล้วสามารถได้เป็น permanent residential ของทางอังกฤษได้ไหมทั้งสองท่านบอกว่าสามารถทำได้นะคะแต่อันนี้จะต้องดูในรายละเอียดของตัว residential หรือว่าวีซ่าเพราะว่ามันมีรายละเอียดเรื่องกฎหมายที่ค่อนข้างละเอียดอ่อนแล้วก็จำนวนเงินที่ลงอะค่ะก็น่าจะค่อนข้างเยอะอยู่แต่คุณเจนบอกว่าอันนี้ขออนุญาตไม่แจ้งว่าเป็นจำนวนเงินเท่าไหร่ว่าเดี๋ยวกดแจ้งผิด Yes any more question Yes ค่ะใช่ค่ะ
ปัจจุบันมีกี่ยูโครงการที่จะให้นักลงทุนไทยไปซื้อที่อังกฤษนะครับมีกี่ยูนิตครับแล้วก็คาดหวังต่อไป
ถึงโครงการทั้งหมดหรือว่าเป็นโควต้าของไทย
โควต้าที่จะให้นักลงทุนไทยซื้อสินค้าครับ
Okay from the total of the residents from the unit is there any specific the foreign quota that Thai people will get
not in the UK no. Not in the UK. There's no quota in that respect.
Not like Thailand, right?
It's different to here. Different to here. They don't have a quota on that. They tend to release different phases for different markets and make sure that it's very balanced. But it's a different system to here.
อ๋อจะไม่เหมือนของไทยนะคะถ้าของไทยอ่ะเราจะมี foreign quota ใช่ไหมคะของแต่ละคอนโดแต่ละโครงการแต่ที่อังกฤษไม่มีค่ะ
จำนวนยูนิตโทโต้จากการเซ็นสัญญาไปแล้วครับยอดเป้าหมายการ
หมายถึงเป้าหมายโอเค so the sales target do you expecting how much of the sales target how many units
no I think look it depends on the development and its location I think there's never a specific sales target or a quota for any market and I think the location will dictate it really I mean it sort of varies, but there's no specific sales target for each project.
Your expectation?
Look, I think expectation is we're very excited to be opening up the market here in Thailand because we see it as a very strong opportunity, and I think we expect that to grow over time. We want to be us JLL and Richmont want to be educating the market here and helping. Thai buyers invest, but I think we expect that to grow over time.
I was just going to mention that, as you can see, we have a lot of projects, and we actually have clients from Thailand in London now looking at projects. So the sales rate is actually over quite a long period. Thai people are going regularly to London, and we're meeting them there, and we're showing them the projects. So it's a process over a period of time. Again, as James mentioned.
ก็ทั้งสองท่านบอกว่าด้วยความคาดหวังนะคะอาจจะไม่ได้มีตัวเลขแบบ specific อะไรนะคะแต่คาดว่ามันจะโตขึ้นเรื่อยๆค่ะเพราะว่าณที่เราคุยกันอยู่ตอนนี้ค่ะคุณทิมก็บอกว่าก็มีคนไทยที่ไปที่ลอนดอนแล้วก็กำลัง inspect โปรเจกต์นี้อยู่แล้วก็มีด้วยตัว Richmont เองก็มีฐานลูกค้าที่มีอยู่แล้วทั้งที่ลอนดอนแล้วก็รวมไปถึงที่ไทยด้วยนะคะ
แต่ไม่ได้คาดหวังตัวยูนิตห้องครับว่า
ไม่มีค่ะ
โอเคมีโควต้ามา100 ยูนิต
I'd like to know the unit what we expect to sell for them and the value of sales how much that Richmont can or other town is expecting to sell for them.
Again, as James mentioned, I mean, this is beginning. The partnership is beginning. We're introducing a new segment of projects to Thailand. I said they're starting at 15 million baht, which I think is a new price point in Thailand. So obviously, we are expecting a lot of interest in Thailand. But again, as was mentioned, we understand that Thai people will be new to this market, many people. So we will have a series of seminars on different topics about buying property, about the UK property market. So we expect that our sales figures will gradually increase. So we're starting from the beginning, really, and we expect those sales will increase over time. That's the answer.
ก็ยังไม่มีตัวเลขนะคะคือด้วยความว่าคุณพี่บอกว่าจริงๆการร่วมมือในครั้งนี้ถือว่าเราเพิ่งเริ่มเราเพิ่งจับมือกันแล้วเปิดตลาดเซกเมนต์เนี้ยค่ะสำหรับคนไทยก็ยังถือว่าใหม่มากๆแล้วด้วยราคาที่มันจับต้องได้เอาจริงๆมันราคาเท่าคอนโดที่ทองหล่อบางโครงการด้วยซ้ำกับ15 ล้านนะคะเพราะฉะนั้นทาง Richmont เองนะคะก็หวังว่าโครงการนี้จะได้รับความสนใจจากนักลงทุนในไทยเยอะแล้วก็โตขึ้นเรื่อยๆแค่นั้นเองค่ะ
และถ้าถามในทางกลับกันบ้างว่าตอนนี้โครงการอสังหาริมทรัพย์ใน